Welcome to Downtown Greer, also known as Greer Station to the locals. This is the place that attracts diners and shoppers from all across South Carolina, because here you can have a great meal, do some shopping, and discover hidden treasures found nowhere else. Soon, Greer Station will be one of those unique treasures. With an innovative shared street design, new landscaping and lighting, and a new hotel and parking garage, the revitalization project known as CenterG will bring a 21st century look to Greer Station while maintaining the small town charm loved by residents and visitors alike. So join me as we learn more about this project and discover the synergy behind CenterG. I have been hearing a lot about something called Greer streetscape. Can you tell me what that is?
Oh, gosh, tell me you're not just hearing about it, because we've been working on it for over 5 years, and we've been doing our best to get folks prepared for that. But what it is we're going to do a transformational streetscape project that will improve the infrastructure of our downtown area for its roadway utility in our area, so that we're improving where pedestrians walk, where they are entertained, where they gather. We'll improve where vehicles travel, what it will look like and how it will function. And so that's the purpose of it, is so that we're improving what's on the ground in our downtown area.
The city of Greer grew up around the Southern Railroad and was chartered in 1876. When a second line, the Piedmont and Northern, arrived in 1914, downtown Greer suddenly became a booming commerce center. That boom included the creation of the Greer Commission of Public Works, which has provided utilities in the city of Greer ever since. As the railroads pushed the economy, Greer's infrastructure and utilities grew as well. With downtown's utilities a century old in some cases, it was time to replace them.
You don't want to go build a new streetscape and a few years later your utilities need to be replaced, and you got to come out and dig that out, because underground water, sewer, and gas, it gets installed by putting in ditches. And so you don't want to cut new stuff and put in that infrastructure. So we work very closely with our utility partners. Greer CPW was wonderful to work with in this. They knew the timeline, so they were able to prepare, budget for, and schedule the work that they needed to do in the downtown area. And that's been going on for about a year. And so all of our utilities are updated. And so, outside of just routine maintenance, things that happen on the maintenance side, they won't need to replace that infrastructure for another 75 to 100 years.
With Greer's utilities set for the future, the city will transform all streets in Greer Station to keep the city moving forward for another century. The centerpiece? A shared street design on Trade Street. So what exactly is a shared street?
Well, it's very unique to the southeast. It is a design element that is used in other parts of the world, certainly other parts of our country as well. But what it really means is that it is a very methodical, strategically planned gathering area, a plaza. But it's a plaza that still functions for commerce in a way that you are providing for vehicles and people, and the moving of people in those vehicles, but also creating an environment that environment is a gathering area. It is a plaza where folks will come, and we will do festivals and events and the community events. And what happens is that it just enables those two functions to be done in the exact same place with a different type of design.
What we realized, and again what we envisioned for Greer specifically, is that when you raise the street and create a festival street environment, you create a more walkable street. So the tripping hazard goes away, the curb ramps go away, and then when you decide to have an event or a street event, you close the street off on both ends, and it becomes open to everybody. Because then at that point, it's more than a street at that point. You're creating a park for downtown.
Specializing in planning and design engineering, Kimley Horn facilitated the Greer Community Master Plan completed in 2015. CenterG was a key component of that plan. With plenty of input from the community, Kimley Horn designer Kyle Baugh was asked to design the look for CenterG.
You know, we've been here for probably 5 years now, working with the community. And again, you know, the plans that are most successful are not ones that I just design. They're the ones that we work with the community to design together. And those are always the most successful plans.
We've adopted over, the last 15 years or so, a very intentional process of community involvement. And so through this visioning process of what we would ultimately do in our downtown area, this grew from that. It actually came from our community saying, this is what we think would be really neat in Greer. But it's gotten us to where we are now, that what you will see at the end of our streetscape project is very, very different than what you see today.
With changes coming to the Central Business District, how do local merchants view CenterG? And what has the city done to help prepare for the project?
We have a great group of downtown merchants now, our core group. Over the last 15 years, a lot of different businesses opening, and this core group that's here now is going to be able to stay open during all of this, the construction. The city's done a wonderful job with communicating everything with us, and just looking forward to the 18 months from now when we're probably all here again doing a ribbon cutting. Can you imagine how exciting that's going to be?
Our number one priority is to our existing businesses that are there today. We absolutely understand that this is going to have an impact to them. How we work through the construction and how we do that to minimize any negative impact to them, so that we are getting their customers to them, that we are letting their customers know that we are open for business.
Well, from a small town perspective, I think Greer has done a tremendous job thinking about the big picture, thinking about how does what they're going to do affect the merchant. And not just the merchant up and down Wade Hampton, but downtown, small and historical downtown. And I've seen Greer, City Hall, the Chamber, the Economic Development, all join forces and get involved in trying to communicate to us what to expect. And it is really up to us to communicate that to our clients.
The thing that we really want our merchants to know and to understand is that we get it. We know how important it is to keep customers coming to those businesses. Pre-construction, we've come in and we've constructed new and renovated our existing parking areas in downtown. We have completely renovated the alleyways that are behind our buildings on Trade Street. We have encouraged our residents to improve their rear entrances so that they can promote and have access when we're in the front of their business, that they have an alternative to that. And so we think those will all be very successful for folks by doing those things. We've put $150,000 in grant money out there to say, if you need to make facade improvements, here is a way that we can help you do that as well.
The front and rear facade here at Empire Limited have a new look and feel. Owner James Carter was the first Greer Station merchant to apply and be approved for a facade grant funded by the City of Greer and the Greenville County Redevelopment Authority. The grant program allowed merchants to apply for a $10,000 grant with no required matching funds. If a merchant invested $5,000 towards renovations, the City of Greer matched both those funds and GCRA's, a $20,000 total grant. The goal was to provide an inviting rear entrance for customers while the pavement in front of the businesses is under construction.
Well, I wanted to set an example I've been through maybe 4 different revitalization projects, so I kind of had a heads up of what to expect. And during the process of them doing work in my front door, I wanted to have access to my back door. We've added a outdoor living space, awnings, new signage in the front. Just upgraded an enormous amount of communications with what our brand is.
To help move customers to and from Greer Station businesses during the project, the City of Greer invested in 3 new electric vehicles. Now residents and visitors alike can park at a convenient designated location and be chauffeured at no cost directly to their favorite restaurant, shop, or other business. With service hours from late morning until early afternoon and then during the evening hours, it's easier than ever to reach a favorite restaurant or business. Shuttle information and maps may be found at futuregreer.com. The clearly marked vehicles operate 6 days per week and are completely free of charge.
I'm personally very hopeful that it's going to be such a success that we're going to go, how do we continue to provide this service to our downtown visitors and to our merchants in downtown, and that this would be a continuing program. So we're going to encourage people to use it, so we'll keep it around.
With so many moving pieces, how can anyone keep up with the latest news about CenterG?
We wanted to make sure that people could go to a single source to get information so they weren't having to go to multiple places. And one of the things that we did is we created our Facebook, we have Facebook presence, but also our internet presence with a website, www.futuregreer.com. That site will have all the information about our project. We will place their schedules. We will place their future schedules. We will have information about what's coming up next, what's been completed. So there will be summary information and information about what is yet to come located there. There will be visual information so people can see what something's going to look like once the construction part of this is completed. It will identify where is the best place to park. It'll identify the times that our shuttle systems are working. So it's just going to be a resource for information. One of the nice things about that site is that you don't have to always go and check it for updates. We have a place in that site that you can subscribe to email updates. And every time that we make an update either to the site or that we have new information to share, by subscribing to that email notification, you're going to immediately be notified that there's something new happening.
Transforming downtown Greer will come with a cost, but the return on that investment makes it more than worthwhile.
This project in its totality will probably run about $25 million of things that we are doing. We certainly believe that there will be a return on that investment because we saw return on investment when we built our new City Hall. We saw return on investment when we built City Park. We've had return on investment just with the construction of our police and courts building in the downtown. So in those projects, we invested about $21 million. We are now in year 10 of that. We know that of that $21 million investment, we've had increase in assessment in our downtown area of nearly $100 million. A $21 million investment that's given us a 3-to-1 return on that investment. That's what we believe this streetscape project will do for us as well.
Are you ready for some really exciting news? Guess what the overall transformation of downtown Greer will cost the taxpayers?
No tax increase to fund this project. That was, our elected officials were very adamant. They were very vocal in the process that said, we are a rapidly growing community. Investment is being made in our community. Our tax base is growing. Growth is going to be necessary to fund the improvements that we were making for this type of a project. Very clear in that, and so we understood that. So we borrowed about $12 million in bonds, and that'll be primarily for the parking garage, our assistance with the hotel development project, Some of that, very, very small amount of that in the streetscape project, and the remainder on our art center redevelopment. That's where the money that we're borrowing is going. We have capacity today to make that debt payment over the next 15 years. So no tax increases, no business license increases of any kind to fund what we are doing in the downtown area. In addition to the dollars that we bonded this past year, we've been setting aside funds out of our, what we call our fund balance, but that would be what most folks would refer to as our savings account. And so as we have had some surplus dollars at the end of the year, we have intentionally been setting those aside. And there are sufficient resources there between the bonding and those resources that will completely fund everything that we're doing relative to these projects.
Much attention has been focused on what the CenterG project will accomplish south of Poinsett Street. But the promise of that transformation is already changing the look of the block north of Poinsett and Trade. Private investment started with renovation projects at the former Mutual Home Store and the old D&D Ford site. Tribe 513, Parkside Pediatrics, and Grace Church purchased those properties and began extensive renovation to change the look of the block's southeast corner. Then came the exciting news that a developer would build a hotel at the corner of North Main and Jason Streets. The city of Greer agreed to construct a parking garage adjacent to the hotel, and the entire project will be surrounded by new retail properties.
We've been recruiting a hotel for about as long as we've been planning to do a streetscape project, but we knew that they were independent. They really were independent, but our good fortune is that when we were ultimately able to attract a developer to build a hotel in our downtown, one of those tipping points for that decision was their recognition that we were indeed proceeding with the streetscape project. So they recognized that we were going to make that investment, and what was, because they came and they said, what's it going to look like? What do you think? What's going to happen in front of our properties? How do we tie in what we're doing to what you're doing? And so, yes, it isn't happenstance. We were working on both independently. Very, very good fortune that they came together at the same time. One supports the other. And so just the investment on the hotel site is already showing the private sector investment as a match to our public sector investment. And so that it's, you know, we're already at break even.
So Trade Street will have a shared space design. The next block will have a hotel and parking garage. What about the rest of Greer Station?
This is you drop the pebble and watch the ripple effect. So yes, our commerce center in our central business district is indeed Trade Street, and we knew that certainly needed to be where the twinkle needed to be. This is where we needed to make sure that the plaza and what is that gathering place, that's what Trade Street will be. But we've expanded that to include the entire central business district, in that we will be making improvements to Main Street from the railroad, Poinsett Street, from the railroad to Main Street itself to the bridge on its approach on Highway 14, all of Randall Street, interior, all of School Street, all of Victoria Street, Depot Street. People will see redesign of the traffic patterns we're taking, roads that were built 100 years ago that came in at kind of odd angles, and we're bringing those in at 90 degrees for safety for people that are coming through the area. So we're improving the safety for pedestrians and vehicles in the downtown area. But we will replace curb and gutter, sidewalk, asphalt, so new roads, new sidewalk, new landscaping, new furniture, new fixtures, new lighting, We're converting everything in the downtown area to all LED lighting, so sustainability is a big piece for us as well. We want to make sure that we're being good stewards of what it costs to operate our downtown moving forward as well. So all of those factors have been considered.
Are you feeling the excitement for what is coming to downtown Greer? Well, city leaders are certainly feeling CenterG.
Just like when we built this city park 10 years ago, every day we hear from people who go, I love to bring people to downtown Greer to show them what we have. This is wonderful, it's phenomenal. We hear all of those adjectives of describing what a really neat place it is. We know now that we're going to take that to a completely another level, that folks are going to, not only do I want to show you our wonderful park, but gosh, let's go eat on Trade Street. Let's go get a sandwich. Let's go have dinner. Let's go shop. And if you need a lawyer, got plenty of them down here. If you need an accountant, got plenty of them down here. If you need to visit the Chamber of Commerce, right in the middle of it. And so it will be a destination. It will be a place that you will feel different when you are in that place. It will be a noticeable difference than what we have today. And again, we're at 95 to 97% occupancy. So what we have is pretty good. We're going to just make it great.
So come join us as we embark on this journey to transform downtown Greer. It's an exciting time for CenterG.